I see my time's expired. Thank you very much for your time
Senator.
today.
Thank you, Senator Lee. Senator Manchin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Doctor. Again, I enjoyed talking to you and appreciate it very much. I'm greatly encouraged by our leadership of our committee that we will have an all-in energy policy, and I appreciate your indicating that it's going to take everything that we have in this great country to become independent. I know in the past, many past secretaries have spoken about the role that coal plays, as you know, coming from the state of West Virginia. It's very important. But also it's important to the nation. I would like to show you, not the first one, no. Basically the demand. This comes from Department of Energy, EIA. From 1992 to 2010, this was the demand, the load that was expected from each category, whether it be coal, nuclear, renewables, or natural gas. Then 2010 to 2040, this is what we're expecting to carry the load of energy in our country. And we know that the rest of the world has more of a demand for coal, fossil, than ever before. And when you see that you're still out through 2040 going to be depending on 35% here, natural gas goes to 30, nuke stays about the same, renewables only gets to high of 16. With that being said, let me show you the past from EIA again where your money's being spent. The research dollars, 61% to renewables with only a 16% return, as you can see. It just doesn't make sense in a business model that this would work. But it seems like we're trying to push that in a direction where this administration wants the markets to go, knowing you're not going to get a return on it. Only thing I've asked for is a level playing field. I want all. I want wind. I want solar. I want to use everything we have in this great country of ours. But we're not all the same. And if by your own estimation you're going to be using this much depending for until 2040, until if we have a fuel of the future, we put very little, and you talked about sequestration. We're trying to do everything we can. But the federal government's never partnered up for a commercial project to where we can prove that it can be done, you know, to a large coal-fired plant. Only thing I'm asking, sir, I think, in the realm of what you're seeing here as far as where we are, our needs, and then where we're spending our money. Put this one down. Where we're spending our money. If you just would take a serious look at this and see if we can balance this out a little bit better. If you're expecting, you've got nothing here, fossil is 18%, well, 18%, and you've got 35 and 30, you got 65% you're depending on fossil. It would seem like there'd be a little bit of a kind of a balance or a parity there. That's all I can ask on that. And the other thing I would like to ask as far as how much longer do you think taxpayers will have to subsidize renewables until they're able to compete in the marketplace on their own?
Well, Senator Manchin, by the way, just a comment, I certainly, again, you know, and as we've discussed, that I'm very committed to having those carbon capture and sequestration projects run forward.
Sir, I appreciate it. I think I've followed your writings and basically your philosophy, and you've been very proactive. We think we can get an all-in energy policy. We're not asking for anything unreasonable. If this is what this country is going to be demanding, then we can't just villainize.
Right.
Okay, our little states produce an awful lot of energy for this country. We want to continue to do it in the best fashion we can. We need a partnership.
Agreed. Then on the second question, I personally believe that for any energy source, we have to help. I think our role in the government, if I'm back in the government, if I'm confirmed, is to first of all make sure that the marketplace has options. Well, by marketplace, I mean all those who make different kinds of decisions, investors, companies, public servants, et cetera, have the information they need to understand the options to be chosen for producing, delivering, and using energy under whatever are the market conditions at that time. And the market conditions involve both public and private sector issues. So, for example, you know, a low-carbon future may be being called for. It's very important in that context that we understand the renewable options, the nuclear option, and the coal with carbon capture options.
Right. The only thing I would ask on that is that do you believe, and I think you've said, but you reaffirm and believe that basically we should have an all-in energy policy using the resources we have at
Yes.
our disposal in our great nation,
Yes, I'm very much with the President on this all of the above approach.
and not putting obstacles that basically are unobtainable and unreasonable. Well,
Well,
that's
again,
not your
our
that's
job is on the
EPA.
innovation side. So
I've gotta work- I
we're
gotta
going to
work-
push the innovation and
I've got to work with the EPA to be reasonable. I understand that.
all those options.
So I would just hope that you would be understanding where we're coming from and what needs to be done to balance this out with some parity.
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Manchin. Senator Alexander.
Thanks, Mr.